Hey, I'm Riggers, thanks for dropping in. Today I want to talk about Forza Horizon 6, the newest racing game on the scene at the moment. I have been playing the Forza Horizon game since the very first one, way back when I was a kid in high school. And back then, I remember I blitzed through that first game in like a week, and then I kind of never really looked back to it. And then I ended up coming back to the Forza Horizon series when I was in university. Revisited the first game, I loved it, I fell properly in love with it this time, and from there I ended up eventually getting a Series X and playing through all the other Forza Horizon games, and it's been a few years since I've had any to play, and then this new one's come out and I pre-ordered it, and one of my thoughts on it, well, they're good. I really like the game world map. I think Japan is a lovely world space to explore. Anyone somewhat familiar with my channel might know I do quite like Japanese games, and I quite like Japanese settings of stories anyway, and being able to explore Japan in a different way, because usually with games I play, whether it's Yakuza, Persona or something like that, you explore in Japan on foot, you're not in a vehicle. So exploring Japan through Lamborghinis, Mazdas, Suzukis, Mitsubishis, Aston Martins, whatever it may be, is brilliant. It's wonderful to just blitz around temples and Japanese cities and countryside and whatever it may be, and the cherry blossom trees. It's a really nice setting. I like it a lot. So for me, as soon as I've found out the game was set in Japan, I was already excited, and seeing it in action, I'm not disappointed at all. It's fantastic. I think the game's narrative, in terms of its dialogue and everything, I've not been a fan of any of the game's characters or dialogue since the first game. I think the first game, it pitted you against all these antagonistic characters, and it felt like a sort of cutthroat competition, and you had characters who were snarky, snide, they had their own personalities. It felt very much like Midnight Club in that regard. We have all these rival racers, or Need for Speed, or various other franchises who, you have these antagonistic characters. And you had the ultimate goal of taking down Darius Flint, who was the Horizon champion. None of the other games since then have been like that. You have these really unrealistic, overly sappy, overly cuddly, friendly, let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya characters who are just really overly affectionate and don't seem to ever get mad. It's really weird. And I'm only a few hours into this one, so if all the characters suddenly, develop and be people, fair enough. But I found the characters quite detestable in every single Forza Horizon to date, especially Forza Horizon 2, for whatever reason. The guy in that game, the posh guy who says mate every other sentence, I say posh, he's southern compared to a northerner like me, they all sound posh, but yeah, I found him really insufferable. I thought it was quite funny when the fifth game they say he now works at a hot dog stand and he's no longer in part of Forza Horizon. That just amused me because I don't like his character. But yeah, the dialogue of the characters, never that great. I find them tolerable in this one. I don't actually want to strangle them in this one, so they've somewhat headed in the right direction. Still vapid non-entities, but I don't want to maim them. And yeah, the unskippable cutscenes are annoying. One thing I really don't like is, and it's not unique to this game, it's again a Forza Horizon thing, but it's something this game still hasn't course corrected on. You go over a ramp and go in midair, and you slow down, as if jumping over a ramp is the coolest shit you've ever seen, and it'll happen multiple times in some races. Like that first Horizon Rush race in the docks area, 3 slowdowns in one race. I don't want to slow down and go, wee, I'm going over a ramp. It's not impressive. I just want to race. It's annoying. I'm trying to think of what other aspects. Yeah, another thing about the franchise which still hasn't necessarily been corrected is they have so much junk stuffed into every Forza Horizon game. One of the first things I do every time I start a playthrough of a Forza Horizon is toggle all the shitty settings off. Anna, go away. Disable this pop-up, all these on-screen notifications, blah blah blah. I turn off about half of the assists because I like a mix of some of them off, some of them not. One thing that irritates me is for some reason, if I don't want to be spammed with pop-ups like, you've earned XP for this, you've bumped into this, you've done this thing, blah blah blah, wow, you did a trick, groovy driving, dude, or whatever else it bloody says, I can't see what radio station I'm changing to. I don't know why that would ever be programmed as something that you would disable, and how it's classed as a notification. It's an on-screen part of the user interface, it's not a notification. Because I don't want all the other stupid pop-ups that appear in the other games, I can't ever see what radio station I'm changing. I feel I should have the ability to see what radio station I'm listening to and not have all the on-screen muck, but apparently that's not an option. Moving on to more positive fields to the game, I think the game's cars are absolutely gorgeous. Let's be real. The graphics of this game are lovely. The game looks and plays very stunning. I play it in performance mode personally. I prefer the 60 FPS over, slightly better graphics, but it looks really nice. Very crisp, beautiful lighting, and whether you're racing through Tokyo at night time or in the countryside in daytime, it looks phenomenal. It's really nice, and you've got such a wide variety of different cars and vehicles. I've already found a few of my favourites to drive, and I've had a lot of fun with it. I've been using the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution line of cars. Is that how you'd say it? There's a couple of them I have, different variations of that model. And I remember on the first day I got it, I was having fun whizzing around in the Lamborghini Centenario. Again, any mispronunciations, please correct me. I'm not a major car person in terms of knowing the exact phrasing and pronunciations of everything. But I've been having a lot of fun with the game when it's driving, and it feels very nice. I always play with a controller personally, never been a big steering wheel gamer, but it feels very comfortable to pick up and play. The music itself is really good. Help if I knew what radio station I was listening to, but I do like the radio stations. The radio hosts I don't mind; they're all right. I think they're a fitting backdrop to the whole party festival vibe. I don't mind the radio DJs. I could find them obnoxious, but no, I think they complement the game setting well. I don't mind them at all, actually. And I do like the through line of having Scott Tyler from, is it Horizon Base Radio? He hosts. He's right back from the first game. That through line running away through all the franchise is it's a nice callback to remembering the first game. Speaking of which, they brought back the wristband system from the first game, which, while I don't feel it's as important as it was in the first game, but the first game you had like an actual rival to take down that you were building up to. Each wristband you were building up to taking down a particular rival racer in that bracket, whereas this, it's sort of like, here's a few races, and then once you do this whatever it is big event, then you get the next wristband. It's still a nice sense of progression though, so I do still like that. It feels just like a nice little change in the pace and change in the formula, because I feel the games have become a little bit too samey in recent years, and I think going back to the first entry and sort of bringing something back from that, I think that's a nice thing to do. What else is there to talk about? I suppose in some ways you could say the franchise hasn't really innovated. Like the last 4 entries have been near identical in terms of the formula and their pacing and how they're set out. The second game was unique in a way that makes it my personal least favourite in the franchise, because you'd have to go all the way up and down Europe. It's like, alright mate, you've done these 3 races here, now drive all the way over here, and it's like takes 8 or 9 minutes in real life just to be able to do the next few lot of races. Alright mate, you've done those races, go all the way back over here again now. It's like, oh, annoying. I just didn't like that. I think having in Forza Horizon 6, having vehicle restrictions and class restrictions, because of course I think that ties in with the wristbands and everything, that does make you sort of focus on different car types and different vehicle types and the different brackets, and I do feel that gives you a better sense of progression in terms of that you're building up to those more powerful hyper super exotic cars. And while the faster cars don't necessarily mean better and you can have fun driving any of the vehicles, I think staggering the approach of, you can get the Lamborghini from day one, but you need to build up to being able to enter it and compete at that bracket. I think that's a nice sense of progression with that. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. As a long-time Forza Horizon fan, having played all the previous games, and having first played the first game when I was a child, back around when it came out, 2013, late 2013 I played it. I think this is good. It continues a lot of the good stuff. Unfortunately, it brings over a few of the franchise's missteps that they just seem to never correct or improve. But overall, I think the game is pretty fun. And let me know your thoughts. Until then, next time. Until the next video, take care and thanks for watching. Bye for now.